happening, folks? How is everyone doing out in the internet sphere? You may be sleeping because of daylight savings time. You may be doing other stuff, whatever it may be, but welcome to another above average show of the Forge and with your host Jimmy G and Billy the Kids. Billy, say hello to everyone in the chat and
What's up?
introduce our
What's
special
up?
guest.
Yeah, man. What's up, everybody? We've got Big M who's starting us off. Big M and Big Easy, I should say. I keep getting them confused. Thank you guys for joining us. But we've got Autocorrect Primer, my good friend Derek, here as our guest tonight. As some of you may know, Derek is the creator of a community for all of us. It's a very warm and welcoming online community, which is where I got my start live streaming and our friendship began. Derek, tell us a bit about yourself, how you're doing, what you're up to, and what we can expect from you.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me, guys. It's always an honor to be here. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Just got finished doing the last video for our blockies. All 54 figures are done, recorded, and already been uploaded. So you'll get one a week every Monday at 11:45 p.m. So that's what we're doing. And we got some other things that's coming up, but my wife asked me not to say anything yet. Do we have all that stuff locked in? But yeah, there's some big things coming for our community for all of us. So we're very excited. So anybody wants to be a part of that, please come on. We'd love to have you.
Awesome. Can I ask you why 11:45 p.m.?
Nikki likes to look at numbers, and for some reason, 11:45 p.m. is the peak numbers for reviewers, and that's for
Okay.
coming from YouTube. So apparently, that is a sweet spot. So we're testing it out because YouTube gave us a suggestion. Nikki did a little bit more looking into it. She says, "Hey, you got them done. Let's just do it and see how that works." That's their suggestion, saying that's a peak time to do it. So we'll let you know how the reviews do, if it actually does anything. I don't think so, but we're going to have fun with it.
Yeah,
Very cool.
Plus, you get to
let
find out
us
a little bit
know.
more about you before you. Yeah.
There we go. Very, very good. So yeah, it's like 12 is too late and 11:30 is too early, but 11:45 is just
As
right. Gonna
long as you don't feed the reviews after midnight.
That's it. That's it. Or it's a little spinal tap. So as long as your drummer doesn't spontaneously combust, you'll be fine. Today we're going to do things a little bit different because I know Billy, myself, it's been an interesting week. I mean, it's been like we've been working, so it's been very, very busy. So I don't have any slides for you of news, so we're just gonna kind of talk about stuff. I may bring up some websites and things like that. But one of the things we were talking about before the show that we were really, really excited about is the Overgear line of
Hell
Transformers.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes.
yeah, so yeah, with that Overgear line of Transformers, I mean, we're really, really excited about that. But I know you have some insight on that, autocorrect and Derek. Love for you to kind of talk a little bit about that because it sounds like it's not going to be a Hasbro thing.
Yeah. The crazy thing how this is working out is that Takara is they started with the kids line where they did that. I think it was like a kingdom type thing, and it was like you could take the parts and it was all kids, and they came with their own story, their own cartoon, and then Hasbro had their own cartoon, which was the cyber world, I believe what it was. And so Takara has been looking at the direction that Hasbro has been going with their figures, and then they wanted to do something that was different and something that was kind of new. A lot of things like a lot of us have talked about, we would love to see something that's actually brand new and stuff. So for their collector line, they wanted something that could be in competition with Gundam, and so that's where you're getting this from. But apparently, uh, it doesn't look like it's going to be shared in the U.S. I don't. I think that you'll have places like Big Bad Toy Store, stuff like that, will be able to get those figures. But as a main release that would go to like a Walmart or your Target, stuff like that, that will not be the case. This will be like exclusive for Japan and along that way because they're, Billy and I talked about this because we were like, we thought that they were going to have this relationship together forever, and there would not be any type of car does this thing and Hasbro does this thing. But something after with the new CEO and the way things are going with in house of Hasbro and Transformers, I think there's been a little bit of a shakeup within the creative ideas of okay, we're allowed to cut corners here. We don't want to cut corners here. We want to stay with this price point, and the cars want to get a very articulated, best of the best action figure into the collector's hands, which is what you would want your business to do. But people within the Hasbro group, and so I'm thinking I don't have 100% sure, but just through what I've things about I can speculate on what things I've heard is that they're not seeing eye to eye when it comes to the creative ideas.
All right. Well, thank you for that. I'm looking forward to Overgear quite a bit. Like it's the line that I've been hoping for a long time, but the prices and the scale are just they're scaring me away, and I don't want to have to say wait for the KO, but you know when I'm getting priced out of the collecting, it's what I almost have to do.
Yeah, same. I mean,
that's the thing too is that
yeah. No, go ahead, Derek.
Yeah, the price, yeah, I'm sorry, but the price for it being over $100. I don't see the justification in it, especially when these figures are going to be deluxe. Like it's a medium between a deluxe and a Voyager. And we've already seen where Hasbro has been dropping the sizes down and the prices have been going up. And the car saying, "Hey, we're doing this, but look at all the panels. You're getting a third what y'all want is a third party type transformer, and that's what this is. And it is for adult collectors. This is not going to be for what they could pass off as a kids line, and that's what they do with the Generations line is that they treat it as an adult collector, but they can pass it off as a kids line. And I think that's the reason why the car is like, hey, we're losing our fan base. They're going to third party, and they're willing to pay this money for this size here. I do think with what I've seen with these figures, I think we as collectors are going to be very surprised because I think we're going to see that they are on that level that we talk about the third party with articulation, the panels.
Yeah.
I think the pricing is what's going to be the end of it, honestly. Especially in the economy that we have today. Asking for $100 for a deluxe class figures, it's like I said, it's like I don't see that working. I don't see anyone being able to justify it. And they kind of said that they justify it because everybody said that it came out too late for them to do the missing link line. But yet, missing link line for sales wise for them is one of the popular selling figures for them. So they're looking at we're willing to pay it for a missing link. Why not pay it for a brand new Transformer?
Yeah. Well, that Optimus Prime
with it too. I mean, it's not just going to be a figure by itself.
That Optimus Prime that they drop, once the actual prototype hits and they show what kind of colors they're going with, that's going to be my sale end all. I just don't want to drop like $150 a figure.
Yeah.
And then next year they re-release them all with like a premium paint job that looks like they came out of Mad Max. Because I'll be forced to like fly overseas.
That's what KO is for on that. Yeah. So it's probably the Mad Max type. But that missing link, I was watching a video of the missing link Grimlock, and that thing looks freaking amazing. I mean, it's expensive as all hell, but it looks great. I mean, it looks like, man, this is the Grimlock that I wish we had as a kid or whatever it may be. And that's the same thing with all the missing link line. It's like, these are the toys that I wish we had as a kid with that type of articulation.
Correct.
But it's like, when is too much from a money standpoint?
Yeah, well, for me, Magic Square and New Age delivered what I wanted to see come off the screen.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go back and buy something that I already have what I feel is a definitive version. Sorry, Derek, you started talking a moment ago.
No,
I think we
I
have a
was just going to
delay.
agree with you. You actually said what I was going to say is that, you do have New Age, you have Magic Square, you have the Legends scale, and that right there is scratching that itch even for me. Um, I am purchasing the Missing Link Grimlock. That's one of my wife's favorite
Yeah.
characters, so I'm going to definitely get that to go along with her actual G1. Uh, but I love Ultra Magnus, but I was not going to drop
Yeah.
that $200+ for that Ultra Magnus. That was
Hell yeah.
insane. And that's the thing that I bring up also is that, and here's the thing too, is that y'all, Deluxe was bringing up some great things on y'all's last podcast.
Hmm.
The problem is coming into the fact that Transformer fans are going to buy it no matter what. You have those loyal
Yeah.
Hasbro that are going to buy everything that comes out from Hasbro because it has a Transformer name on it, and they're not going to touch third party. Um, I've now between getting to talk to someone else that's not Transformers, but someone else that has their own company and they create their own line, and they actually work for Hasbro. Um, Finding out how the ins and outs work. This thing is saying, hey, the tariffs are the reason why the prices are going up. Well, the tariffs went away and the prices still went up. And the company that he has his
Yep.
own company, and he's dropping his prices. But yet, I've seen stuff he's got coming out for his own toy line, and I'm like, it's blowing away GI Joe. So I'm like, and he's like, well, that is same thing with Transformers. He's like, and I brought up the fact of saying, they have all this engineering. Well, Hasbro claims, well, we can't use that engineering because that is another someone else's IP. They're using our IP, but we don't know if that would pass all of our checklists. A lot of times with toy lines, what a lot of people don't know is that there is a checklist, a dollar amount for every bit of paint, every bit of articulation. It's down to the penny. Mattel actually does it even worse. I got to talk to some of the people from the Four Horsemen that worked on the Masters Universe line, and they were like, "You would not believe the kind of spreadsheet that you got, and this is you're allowed to have this, this, and this." And then a lot of times you'll be given a price point saying, "This is your price point. You got to stay in this." Then they'll come and go and say, "Well, you know what? The other figures didn't do well. We're going to cut back, so you can't have this to be a part of that, even though it was already planned in the engineering before it went to be, for the molding and everything." Hasbro is with Transformers, which is different from GI Joe and their other line, and even with the My Little Pony and other things that Hasbro's out there. Transformers is the only one that has multiple teams working on the engineering and working on the actual product itself. Y'all are like really hitting the nail on the head. We're like, it feels like you got two teams. We really have three teams. You have Takara, you have two teams with Hasbro, and one of the team is we got to fill out this number. And I know y'all brought up saying, "Hey, I would rather for them to give us better quality and less numbers." Well, that's not how it works. If you lose a figure number, like a figure being made and the next line coming out, if you look, there's a certain amount each time. You have a certain amount of number of figures to come out for each wave. If you lose a figure that wave, you lose that price point, plus you lose that figure to be able to have that number for the next wave you want to do. So this is the things that kind of like comes into the whole pricing point. And Hasbro has they have the generation team, they have the card team, and then they have their kids line team. And then really Hasbro uses the kids line team and the generation line team. They kind of work together. Usually figures come out, you're like, wow, how is this such a great figure? It had, no waffling, it had no gaps, it had all
Yeah.
the bells and whistles. That really is from a little bit that I've got to see over the years. That typically is usually your engineering coming from the car. The Hasbro team sometimes is a little bit more lazy is a hard word, but that's the way it comes across, is that sometimes they're lazy on their engineering, and they
Yeah.
just want to push something out so they can keep that figure number open, so they'll be able to have that same number for next time that they want to do something. And so that I think that's what's happening now, is that you've got some great figures coming out from Hasbro, and then you have some that's like, what were you thinking? And
Yeah.
some figures get a figure in that they make a figure just because you're going to lose the license of that trademark for the name. So they have a group that's the junk pile. Then I call it the junk pile, that they throw in that name with that figure to kind of look a little bit like the G1, the way that us G1 fans always asking for, and they throw it in there, and then we get it. And we're like, wow, this is a piece of crap. I
Yeah.
could have done great, never ever having this, and that's so.
Yeah, which is crazy because, like, Four Horsemen, for example, uh, their line of stuff is freaking amazing. Like, like their Mythic Legions, Cosmic Legions, their figure Obscura, where it has, like, I've got the Jacob Marley figure, which is freaking cool. And I want to get the Ghost of Christmas
Mhm.
Past, the Father Christmas one. I think, I'd love to have that as my, like, montage for Christmas time, is just to have that. And then they make this for other companies like Mattel, and then Mattel's like, hey, I know you do great stuff, but we need to bring the budget in. But it shows Four
Yes,
Horsemen that people would be willing
and
to pay for that quality, like, because their figures are a little bit more expensive, and
Yep.
people are willing to pay that just so that they can have something really, really great.
Yeah. The Four Horsemen have always been a little more expensive. Like I remember their first foray in Masters of the Universe, and those figures were just
mm,
everything at the time. And I'm probably going back like 20 years now, but those figures were everything you wanted from a Masters of the Universe line. And even me, who's not a Masters collector, was like, I kind of need to get these figures, just because of how good of work they did. So I would always pay a premium if it's worth what they're offering, like you've put out there. Um, Sorry, I'm a little off
yeah.
at the moment.
No, and that's the thing that with me being able to now, I've now gone and started talking and looking at people that are focused on the 6-inch figures, and you have a lot of these people who are, I can't share his name, but he, like he had said, is that, look, when I went into making toys, I went in because I was a fan and I wanted to make the best thing that I could possibly make. And then I worked for the company and I realized I'm not making the best thing I could possibly make. And it broke his heart. And it was
Yeah.
like, he was like, because the problem with the toys now is, it's not that there is codes that they have to follow because the government, these companies are not independently owned anymore. It's a corporation. And so they have the stock market. They have these numbers that they got to make people happy. But the problem is that that's where you forget about what made a toy, is the fact that when you open it up, you're like, holy mackerel, this is like, you relive your childhood. For me, when I open up an action figure or Transformers, I still go back to that moment, because my childhood wasn't the greatest childhood, but Christmas morning
Yeah,
was always great when I was a kid, and I relived that, each time I open up a new figure. And I think that a lot of these Hasbro, Mattel, now Mattel's changing. Mattel is really doing something that I was very, very surprised by, which I'm hoping Hasbro is going to look at it, and I hope that it does really well for Mattel, because it does. It'll change the game for toy selecting across the board, because Mattel's doing something with the Masters of the Universe line that every fan has always asked, and they're going to be doing it with the DC line too when they come
Oh,
out
very
with
cool.
the. So Mattel's going to have 3 price points, and not only 3 price points, but you're essentially getting the same base figure, but each price point is going to give you more accessories or more bang for your buck, so to speak. So if you want to have a character that's going to have a furry cape or something like that, and a fur, that'll be the higher price point. And
Yeah.
but yet you'd wanted your kid to be able to get your, and as adults and collectors, kids are going to look at it and be like, I want to have the same figure that my dad has or my mom has, but you're going to be like, I'm not going to buy my kid a $30 figure.
Yeah.
So Mattel's coming out with the $10 figure, same figure, just as basic. It's just what's going to be known as core, and that name there, it says for itself, is that it's going to be the core figure, and it's just a Batman, or it's just a Robin,
Yeah.
or it's just He-Man, or it's just Skeletor. But then you're going to go to the next price point, and it's going to be like, oh, this is going to be the Chronicle line, and now the adult line, the collectors. I'm hoping that Hasbro looks at it, because Hasbro right now, GI Joe team is really changing. A lot of people want GI Joe to be just straight military, but GI Joe is also style. So the team has now tried to find that little mix. I think that we're going to be surprised with this apology tour that they're going to be doing with Transformers,
Yeah.
because Hasbro has something in store, but they have been very tight-lipped on what that's going to be,
Hmm.
dealing with the 86 movie. So
Sorry,
they have
guys.
plans. Oh no. So they have plans, but it's going to be they're being very, very tight-lipped. I don't even have any inkling or idea what they're going to do. That's how tight-lipped they've been.
What are we talking about? Plans for what?
The apology
Taking over the world.
tour for Transformers.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Do you think it'll like maybe like the whole, what am I trying to say? Basically the end of it, we may get that Studio Series Unicron. Maybe
I
they're
hope
saving
not.
that as a big reveal, because I know they said we're getting a Unicron, and so
Yeah.
I don't know
We are
what kind of
getting a
Unicron.
So I hope they don't do that. And listen, I love 86. I love all of that. But I had Nick from St. Mark's over my house over the weekend, and we were talking about that. If they did this 86 Unicron along the lines of the more recent 97 Sentinel, and the slap in the face that would be for all of the people that backed the HasLab Unicron, right? Because now you're going to give us a large cartoon accurate Unicron that ultimately renders that HasLab to being just a giant paperweight, because everybody that bought that for the Unicron for their collection is going to drop it for this toon accurate version. I really hope they don't do that. I hope that it's more like a deskbot, like a leader size or a commander class Unicron that you can just kind of put on your desk.
What I hope that
What's
they do is like they did with that Sentinel, that it's a pre-order only, and they're only going to make so many. It's not going to be as big, and it's going to be kind of slimmed down a little bit too, as well. Like, because that Sentinel came out, it didn't tell me, hey, you know what, I'm going to sell my HasLab Sentinel. I still have my HasLab Sentinel because it's bigger, and it came with some really cool figures and things like that. So maybe it's not going to be something that totally cannibalizes that HasLab, because again, only 5,000 of those were made, right?
correct?
Yeah, so it's still going to be a kind of like this is like the grail to get, because only 5,000 of these were made. Whereas the Studio Series one, if they go like the pre-order way, I mean, it could have 20, 30, maybe 40,000 or whatever. It could still be a big price point, but I don't think it'll be like on the same level. Like if they went and they just took the same mold that they did for the War for Cybertron, that's where it's a slap in the face. Here I am
That's
as
a
a
big slap.
crowdfunder, and I crowdfunded that thing knowing that it was going to be elite, and now you're reusing that mold. That sucks.
Then I'm going to break. Y'all are not going to like. Okay.
Oh no!
All
Don't
right.
Do it.
break our
Just do it.
hearts.
Just do it.
Okay. Hasbro has came out and recently said a lot of the GI Joe people feel exactly the way that Transformers about backing HasLab. The thing is that Hasbro said, you know, we're going to reuse those molds and we're going to put them out. So the Cobra Hiss tank just got a re-release, and the only thing is that it's not going to light up, but it's going to have everything else that you paid for the hash lab. It's just not going to have the sounds and the bells and whistles. So
That
Hasbro
sucks.
is going to reuse every hash lab that has been made so far. They will be reusing them. They said that at first they weren't, and then they have all that molding and have the mold and it's sitting there, and they need to make money off of how much they put into it. And so the new push is that we're going to just re-release those things, but it's going to be maybe 2 years after the original thing been back. Then we'll come and reuse that mold, and we'll make it a little bit different, but it's still going to be using the same mold. And so that is every hash lab that's done from Star Wars to Transformers, GI Joe. Hasbro is got plans to reuse those molds.
That's
That's
disappointing.
terrible. Both of us jump in
So
like with
yeah,
pitchforks. Big M states, yeah, they are reusing the HasLab Hiss already. It's going to be an Arctic Hiss in white.
and it's gonna be
Yeah,
it's
that's wrong.
gonna be 2 more too.
Two more to
It's gonna be
follow.
a Cobra
So
Guard.
what? We'll get Jungle Hiss
Yeah,
and maybe
and you're
the
gonna get
Tiger
a
Hiss.
yeah, the Tiger Force, which was it was a panther. The I think it was a panther or Python
Yep,
Force for
the
Cobra,
Python Force for
and
Cobra.
yeah, and then you're going to get what's planned is the Cobra Guard, where it's going to be the red, and it's going to be all red. So they have
That
plans
Crimson.
already for
Yeah,
the Crimson Guard. So they do have plans
yeah.
for it to come out for those other 2 colors, and
See,
that goes
that's
for the
wrong.
vehicles too. That's going to be for all from the helicopters to the planes and everything. Um,
So
yeah.
I can understand that because I recently saw the Cobra Commander, the tuned Cobra Commander that came with the Hiss tank,
Mhm.
as a single card in my local Target, and I almost grabbed it.
Yes.
Thanks, Big M. Yeah, Python Patrol. But I
Thank
just
you,
said I
man.
can't do this.
Yeah.
That's really wrong. So if they redid HasLab Unicron with the sleeker tune, accurate details,
Boo.
I'd be so livid. But it'll probably be more like the '86 Hot Rod, where it's just colored properly.
Maybe. Um, I do know that they just released for the Titan class Grimlock, so that and it is considered a Studio Series Grimlock, where they came out with the Studio Series Grimlock, which is the leader class, and now they're going to come out with the one that's going to be a Titan class. Um, but if you really look at the tooling, it's exactly the same transformer, except it's just bigger. And so
Hmm.
so yeah, there's a lot of things that they're doing and they're going to do, and the other thing too is that one thing that Hasbro has also said is that we are going to use the same engineering that we have. We're going to use it from here on out, and we may tweak
So
it a little
they may
bit, change a
scale it
little
or
bit. But
something.
yeah,
Got it.
and so
That's
that's something
disappointing.
that yes, because as a Hasbro's in a lot of heat right now. Chris Cox, I think is his name, that's for the CEO for Hasbro, and he's in a lot of heat right now. He's actually being sued by the investors of Hasbro.
Oh wow.
Be- yeah, because he has Mark Poole, which is a friend of ours who is an artist for Magic the Gathering.
Okay.
He's worked on Magic the Gathering for the very very get go, and some of his cards are some of the rarest cards to get hold of. Well, one thing that they started doing was they started reprinting some of those cards and put them back in there, and it hit the collectability side of it. But Hasbro, he was saying, well, we we own the artwork, and it's just sitting there, and we should be able to reuse it. And another problem that they're running into now is that they are using AI art. Um, so that's something that has been coming out. So if you notice some of the artwork that's been printed on the cards, it's not real artists. So there's a lot that Hasbro's doing that's really messing up the collectability side of it. And so he's under a lawsuit for flooding the market for Magic the Gathering and D&D, and causing the collectability of that and the numbers for it to drop where it had not been before. And if that's the case, and that's the practice he did with Magic the Gathering, he's only going to bring that over to the toy lines. That cause
Yeah,
in the
absolutely.
line, they're looking to put out as much as they possibly can to get as much money out of it as they possibly can.
Well,
That's where I think the
Hasbro's.
problem has come. What's
No,
that?
keep going. No, keep going.
I think that's where you're seeing Takara coming up with their own figures, their own line, and in a way they're keeping it in-house in Japan and the Asian markets. And I think that's why you're seeing this. No one is saying if it's really a rift between the two, but I found it very interesting that someone that I've talked to that actually worked for them and seeing their practice with what they did there, and now seeing what's going on here, and then you see Takara coming out with their own stuff. Immediately that put up a red flag saying, "Hey, maybe things between the two are not as sweet and kind as they were. Maybe that something's going on there." So give me
Yeah.
1 second.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no worries. Well, I think it it makes sense because like anytime like there's a T Spark or a Takara announcement, it's all overseas. Nothing over here on that. It's just, all you see it on is Hasbro Pulse's website that you can order it, but that kind of stuff. You do pay the little bit more premium because they're importing it in and things like that. But anytime they make an announcement, it's usually Takara has their own announcement that they're doing, and it's really cool because they make a really cool video and they make a really cool, all sorts of stuff for it. And then you get the Hasbro announcement, which is just this live stream with, just a few people, and
Few
it's
people.
interesting.
Yeah.
And so Car treats Transformers like it should be treated. Like, in all honesty, the same thing that Hasbro should be doing with Mask and what they should have been doing with G.I. Joe and Transformers, making a big production and going over the top. And if they're looking to make money, but yet I look at their practices to make money, you got to put money into it. You
Yep.
can't just go by name alone. And in all honesty, the only thing that's kept Transformers alive was because of the Bayverse movies. That was the only thing that ever gave new life back into Transformers, because sales for Transformers were dropping rapidly, becoming almost obsolete like they were for G.I. Joe and their other properties. And that's because they weren't putting any effort into it. I do see things that's coming from Paramount. It goes on the Transformers G.I. Joe. Hasbro made it clear that they themselves were not going to make any new movies, and they were very adamant about it. And they were dismantling the AllSpark company that they were using as a production. But that didn't mean that. But Paramount was like, wait a second, y'all are not talking about making it. We don't want to lose the license. So Paramount is only put out 32 movies a year. And right now, for the movies that they're looking at doing, and because they don't want to lose the licenses, G.I. Joe is getting its own live action movie. If not, all that goes back to Hasbro. We're not going to get a crossover between G.I. Joe and Transformers. We're going to keep them separated, but we are going to get a Transformers movie. Um, a lot of people think that it's going to be, Michael Bay is going to come back. I think he'll be more of a producer, and I don't think it's going to be a continuation of at least some of the things that I saw that script wise that I got to see is for G.I. Joe, you got two screenwriters writing two different movies, which more than likely what will end up happening is they'll take those and merge them together and make one movie. That same idea is being done with Transformers. The only problem is that do they continue with what they've done with the Bumblebee line, or do they go back and do what they did with Bayverse? I don't
No,
see
Yeah.
what
the
they should
Bayverse
do is
being run as
continue
a
Transformers 1.
I
Yeah.
agree with that,
Like they gave us a
but
great movie. They should give us the sequel. That's it.
but it didn't
Simple.
make any money. It
That's
didn't make
because
any
they
money.
didn't
That
advertise
that's
it properly.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. They didn't advertise it right at all. They did. It's like they didn't know what direction they want to go. Is it going to be all kid movie, or is it going to be something that's going to be for you know adult collectors and fans for the thing? Transformers One to me was like the home run that we've all been waiting for
Absolutely.
Transformers. I still watch it now. It's the only Blu-ray that I've bought in the last 15 years, and I bought the Blu-ray because I wanted to have
Nice.
the metal cover. You know, Transformers One, they should have come out with the toy line. They should have had everything ready to go. But Hasbro's in a situation where, and this is where I say with us as the fans that we've kind of created this scenario where Hasbro is gun shy on what direction to go because with the Bayverse, I hated the way they looked, but it
Yep.
brought fans in. And so they went all out, but yet message boards and things just was toxic. Then they come out with giving us back the G1 look where they do the um Earthrise Siege, but yet Netflix didn't really put a lot of thought into
Yeah.
how to have that, and it kind of fell apart. Toyline was great. Toyline did well, but nothing else sold for it. And so now Hasbro's like, do we go full force G1 because we kind of did that with Bumblebee and that did really well. Rise of the Beast, that did okay. And then they did Transformers 1, which that kept this mixed message to the fans and new fans. Where are we going? I think Hasbro needs to go back to the drum board and say, okay, who's our audience and what do we want to do? Now, a lot of us have said we love for them to do something brand new, but they've got to have something that's going to be uh, where they make money, where they get people to actually buy the stuff.
Listen,
Um, so it's going to
What's
have to
this? I mean, it's
have an audience.
yeah, it's the
Yeah.
Skybound. I mean, with them making that show, and hopefully it does really, really great. And by the way, Billy, is it like negative 20 degrees in your house or something like that? Throwing on a sweater and
no,
all that kind of
so
stuff.
we
I was
had
going to
the
say,
first nice day in months today where it was like 60 something degrees. So it was t-shirts all day long. We opened all the windows up and all the windows are still opening and it just dropped to like 40.
Oh wow,
So
wow! It
I just
was
got cold and I was like, F it, I'm
so
putting on a sweatshirt real
yeah,
quick.
yeah. For me
I
and
thought you was
Derek,
going to be
it's
hobo, Billy.
yeah. For me and Derek, it was
Yeah.
probably a nice, cool 78 degrees today.
Yeah.
So
Yes, it
we
was.
had
No.
it was warm.
Shorts.
It was warm a little bit. So yeah, nice and shorts and all that good stuff. And then this cold front has come in and dropped it down a little bit, but not much on that. So, but anyway, I mean, yeah, Skybound is like what's making money for them right now, especially for the adult audience
Yep.
that's out there, that the people that actually have the money to spend on it. I know kids will tell their parents, but now again, kids don't necessarily buy toys as much because they're so occupied with their iPads and all that kind of stuff too, as well. And so it
Correct.
is a lot of adults rebuying this stuff. Like when I go into the toy aisle, I don't see a lot of times a kid picking up the latest Transformer. I see a scalper or someone like me, big fat 40 50 plus years old, grabbing whatever's on the shelf, before the scalper could get to it.
The
Yeah.
Skybound is
That's
actually
that's the
hitting
truth.
hits though. I mean,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
Getting
I I have my hands with the comic book community on one side, and one thing that's been surprising with Skybound is the fact that the graphic novels for kids is getting them in their hands. Kids are actually liking what they're reading. Um, we are lucky that we are getting a cartoon. I mean, we're going to get this
Mm-hmm.
Skybound. I mean, this is something Hasbro's already greenlit. It does not so conflict with their ability to have Paramount is going to be making live action movies. Robert Kirkman and them are working on the whole Skybound and through Amazon Prime. The thing is that it's going to be under the Transformer name. That's what everybody's going to recognize.
Yeah.
But we're going to get everything that we're getting in Skybound is scheduled to be in actual, and that's what Skybound got the license for Mask. And so
Yeah. So are we getting
that
a Mask show, G.I. Joe, Void Rivals, any of that kind of
it'll be
stuff?
under Transformer. It'll be under the whole Transformer. That it's going to be Transformers is going to be the whole name, and everything that we're getting from the Energon universe will be it's supposed to be into that. That is what's going to be very interesting to see because you're going to have stories that will be dealing with the Void Rivals. You have stuff on Earth. You have G.I. Joe, and then that's why they got the license for the Mask, which I was surprised that they were actually going to do the Mask. There had been talks about Kirkman wanting that, and
Which
so
the
for you G.I. Joe
covers,
fans, there is
the
talks for
covers of those look really good. The covers on those masks,
Yes.
mask number 1, all the different, they look friggin' phenomenal. Like Miles Mayhem, I mean, even though it looks like that, he's halfway with diabetic and things like that, he still looks really, really evil, So I can't wait for that
Yes.
Mask comic book. That's on my pull list. That is
Mine too.
And Billy left us. Billy's like, I'm done with it. I'm done with it all.
I can't do without him anymore. I talk to him all the time. No, I'm very excited for the thing for Skybound because with Skybound, one thing that is on the talks is Super 7 has been doing the O-rings for G.I. Joe, and that's actually been doing really, really well. And the Transformer community's been loving it. Hasbro has plans to have figures coming out and doing it like they did the Jetfire, where you had the 2 O-ring figures that came with the Jetfire. It was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. So there are plans to, and this is where I find where they can reuse molds. I'm fine with it. Using the molds they already have and put a Transformer with the O-ring figure. They did this with the G.I. Joe crossover. I don't know if y'all ever saw those where you got like Zartan and Zorana came with Soundwave and Ravage.
Yeah.
So there are plans for stuff like that for the future. That is future plans for some more of that to come out, which I'm excited about because
hopefully we get a good snow job
that they're doing.
What'd you say? Snow job?
Or beach job.
That so, but yeah, I even don't even tell me yet. I have it right here. I haven't read it yet.
So I was just about to say, with that,
wow.
Nick, I had Nick from St. Mark's here. He dropped off issues 8 through 28 or 29, whatever the most recent was this week. So I have to catch up on like 20 something issues.
Yeah. Now to switch gears a little bit, because I know but of course you have. To switch gears just a little bit, we know that TFCon is coming up next week
Correct.
So, which is really, really cool. The lineup for it is going to be freaking amazing. Hopefully we can get Ryan on the show sometime after it. I know we got our Beast War show and stuff like that, but
Yep.
would love to get his thoughts on some of the third party stuff that gets announced. Love the fact that Don Glut is actually, one of the guests now too as well.
Yep.
But what are some things that maybe in that third party panel that maybe you're hoping they kind of announce, that you're like, man, because I know the announcements for third party stuff right now has been a little bit sparse. And so I don't know if it's because of this or what, but what are you hoping that they announce at that panel? I hope we don't see, if we see a New Age's Menasor, it better be an almost finalized prototype of that.
Yeah, I would hope to see that. I'm going to let Derek start and then I'll jump in if you guys don't mind.
I would love to see if somebody's going to tackle Overlord, especially in the Legends.
Oh, yes,
skill line.
Overlord
I
and the
think that would
Legends,
be-
which I think DX9
That's going to
is
be
doing.
Yep. DX9 Mini should be
Okay.
showing that and their Power Master, or I'm sorry, Ginrai.
Ginrai.
Let me
Hopefully
get it
we
right.
hopefully we see this prototype of Star Saber, and
Okay.
of
That'd be nice.
Hydra and Buster too as well. So
Yes.
because I love the fact that we're getting Legends Japanese continuity robots, which
I
is
want to
so
see a
cool.
Legends Thunder Clash. Like, I want to see someone give us a upgraded, because that figure was awesome back in the day. Albeit it was hindered by articulation issues back then. But like, if somebody updated that Thunder Clash figure and gave it that cool base mode that actually fires multiple projectiles, that would be awesome. And I think DX9 Mini or Magic Square would be the ones to do it.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if we
But
have any.
but honestly, I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Well, I think
third-party,
Cyan
like,
Culture
Legends.
tried. Yep,
Okay.
Cyan Culture tried. They gave us their Metroplex, and that was good, but
Scorponok.
not great. And they gave us Scorponok, that was another good, but not great. And I every one of those releases ended up going on sale within like the first month and a half, 2 months of their release. So it's hard.
The cool thing with their Metroplex, which makes me want to get it, is that it is compatible with the train bots, which is really, really cool. So you can have the train bots coming out of the city or whatever you want to. Of course, most of us are going to have those train bots in Raiden mode, but it'd be cool to have two different sets, and that way you can really build this ecosystem around Metroplex if you wanted to on that. Now, if you have the space for that, that's great, right? If you don't have the space, then what good is that gimmick?
Yep. Now he's in my display case hunched over. Every time I share a collection update video, you can see him like hunched over in the back. But like for me, the LEDs stopped working so quickly that I just took the LED pieces and spray painted them like Toon yellow. So they've all been replaced with just being yellow. There's no more light up features on the figure.
And I think the re-release doesn't have the lights with it.
No, because they were horrible. The LEDs were awful, like just awful. They burnt out so quickly. There's something with the battery and the way that they drained the energy that just ultimately burned out the boards. So I just painted them yellow. But I hope we see Magic Square's Computron colored. Shozi stated that they want to set up the pre-orders, but Magic Square hasn't been able to get the number order yet. They don't know how they're releasing them. So since there's no set way to release them, Shozi is not putting up a pre-order.
Well, and typically Magic Square is the type that once they have their pre-orders up, they're pretty close to releasing it on that too as well. So I think that's the other thing too. Yeah, I get that with the order, which one's going to come first, which one's going to come second. I know for me, something I'd like to see that I think Ocular Max did, which was really, really cool, is, of course, we got Ocular Max Drift that had the AE86 from the Initial D. I'd like to see Ocular Max tackle more crossover vehicles. I know that Transformers did that, but I'd love to see them tackle some of those pop culture crossover vehicles that they're not worried about a license or anything like that. That they can just go, we're going to make this, and it looks like this one. If you get some decals, you can really make it look like it if you want to, because that A86 one looks spitting image of that Initial D car, which was really, really cool. So I'd love to see Ocular Max do that. That's just my wish list on that. But of course, we're probably going to see Fans Toys, the rest of the Constructicons. We'll probably see Studios Broadside a little bit more and things like that. But man, I'm with you, Derek, and I'm with you, Billy. I'd love to see DX9's lineup, and I'd like to see it more fleshed out instead of just a drawing.
Yeah, absolutely. I want them fleshed out. I also want to see. I hope that we get some Protectobots, man. Like, how do I not have Legends Protectobots? It's killing me.
Yeah, which we all thought Magic Square was going to be the ones that did it.
Yeah,
first.
it was. And instead we had what was it? Not DX9. X Transbots did one of them. What's up, Quentin? How you doing? X Transbots did like Streetwise.
Yeah.
And then they just completely dropped it. Like, there's been no follow-up. There's been nothing.
Hotspot was crap.
It's terrible. I can't wait to take it out of my display. It's such a bad figure. It's so bad. It's so bad. Like, it's the one when you're like reorganizing your display and you're like, where the hell am I putting this piece of garbage? It's not scaled with anything. It doesn't really like even feel good in hand.
Yeah, that the hand gesture you just did, it just did not look right when you said it's just scaled all over.
I'm just trying to go with the chat.
Yeah, go with the chat. Yeah, if y'all didn't notice, those that were watching, there's been some interesting things going on in the chat. It's okay. It gives us views and all that good stuff. Puts us in front of people. But we're big boys. We're junior high. We kind of chuckle at it too as well. So it's it's been a fun night.
It's
folks.
been a night.
Yeah, on that. So, but Derek, what else are you thinking about? What else are you looking forward to?
That I was thinking about. I got a lot that I'm trying to catch up on, and I did see that Shows These Toys has Megatron, which I'm gonna look to get.
Which Megatron?
I'm surprised that we haven't. It's a tune after it one that they had.
New Age
backup. New Age, yeah, New Age.
Agamemnon or whatever.
Agamemnon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they have.
Every time I read that name, I think of Digimon.
Agamemnon. That figure, looks like it came right out of Heavy Metal War. That's a fun figure. I like
Magic Square's Megatron. Yeah.
Magic Square's Megatron's the one I ended up going with because that looks like it came out of the '86 film. But the New Age Megatron is still a very good figure. Especially I think it goes for like $60 or something like that.
Yeah, because I was like,
oh yeah,
I've been sticking with New Age because I'm worried if I branch out to another third party, then I'll OCD will I have to get the actual all the lines that go with that. So because I like New Age overall. Magic Square, I did have one of the figures, and someone sent me, let me see it and feel it. I just didn't like the way the plastic felt with it. So then when Billy recommended the New Age, I got that one, and I've fallen in love with New Age's figures. That Dick figure was a wonderful little red lipstick thing to have. So
just be careful talking about Dick figures tonight, man. It's gonna unload, open up Pandora's box.
Oh no, I am curious though that we didn't get more Beast Wars characters, especially with the 35th anniversary.
So,
and Hasbro didn't do anything for it, which
Hasbro slept on it, which is terrible. Robot Toys is supposed to be showing off their Transmetal Optimus Primal, which I'll probably buy 3 of. Their Transmetal Rampage.
Okay.
And then they have a Waspinator coming out, a Depth Charge coming out, a Rampage coming out, and one other in the masterpiece scale. So Robot Toys hopefully has a good showing at TFCon this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Hasbro did kind of, kind of
gave
a
us
sneak peek. I believe they're doing the Beast Wars. I think it's in the Dramatic Capture series. They're going to like have, you got Waspinator, Megatron, and this one, and then you got Optimus Primal. It's going to be a reused mold on that. So, but I forgot where I saw that because we had it on a show like several weeks ago.
I'm going to see if I can find it.
And I don't remember.
Capture series Beast Wars?
Yeah, it's either that or whatever, but it's like it's going to be a multi-pack. There's not going to release them individual on that, and it's not going to be something like, hey, if you're looking for a new mold, yeah, too bad, So they're going to be reused.
They're reused. It's the same thing with them doing. So it's the same way they're doing with the 250th anniversary for the for America figures. Like they're reusing a mold that was for Duke, and they're doing one I think was for it's gonna be the Eagle Beck, which I can't remember the female transformer. That's the that turns into birds. So where's my brain?
Oh, Airazor?
Yes, they're
Airazor. She's the best.
Doing her as a 250 red, white, and blue figures. So,
I saw that. I didn't really care for that.
The whole thing and then reused them. Yeah, I don't know who their audience they're looking for is, or
yeah,
just want to really buy it. I think those are.
But we'll
really
see
going to.
On that, and we do have like
open to see some of these boards.
Yeah, and what's going to be great is like in a couple of weeks, all Beast Wars show. It's going to be fun. We're going to be grilling Iman on some
Iman's
stuff.
Getting it. I actually messaged him and said, "Listen, I'm questioning you about this. There's a very important thing you need to know about this one thing. Pay attention."
That's
your last warning.
That's it. Well,
and especially given his comic book background, he should 100% be able to piece together what I'm asking him to look for.
There we go. Well, we're getting close to the witching hour for us, about 10:30 on that. So all of us are old and ready to go to bed.
Comfy old man.
That's it. But Derek, thank you again so much. And I know you got all those Blockies videos getting ready to come out. What time are those going to be coming out on your channel?
Every Monday for the whole year, for 52 weeks. So every Monday at 11:45 is when those will be coming out. And then I'll be doing some other things with Blockies that my wife was wanting to do. So we're going to be doing some other things on the channel with those, with some photography, and start putting stuff on the Instagram. And I'm also working on a new artwork. Don't know to say what it is yet. I am working on a new artwork, and
nice. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. So that's going to be awesome. Thank you to everybody in the chat that was here, even those that decided to kind of have some fun with us tonight. Thank you so much for coming on, because all you do is give us more views. And so thank you. But Billy, if you want to say thank you to everyone else too as well, and just sign us off.
Absolutely. I do want to thank all the regulars that came in and said hello, even though some of you came in a little late tonight. And those that were streaming and just kept us going on as their background noise. I appreciate you all. Derek, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It's always a pleasure having you on. I love getting your insight, sharing the information that you have with us. Thank you for ruining my HasLab's Unicron dreams. It is what it is, but thank you for joining us.
Thank y'all so much for having me.
All right. And with that, we are done. So we will see you same bat time, same bat channel next week.
Talking TFCon.
So